We started the manifestation last week. We are kind of touched the surface. We are now going more deep into the manifestation. Okay. Let me just draw. Last week we talked about the 4 elements like this. We said that the air, fire, water, and earth. We said water and earth are very close. Usually air and fire are like more superior. And it's just from air to fire takes a bit time. From fire to water, it's less, and from water to earth, it's too quick. Now, where was the essence? The essence was inside here. The essence was the driver of this 4 element, which the 4 element. Thank you. Yep. The essence should be on controlling the 4 elements. Now, this called essence is usually, I want to explain what is essence. I mean, how we can feel it. Am I now an essence? If we see a child, like 5 years old child, you see completely an essence. He or she has the 4 elements, but kind of pure, right? With a good mind and just simple mind and just how to survive, how to be happy. And but once it grows, the girl or boy, when they're growing in like 15, 20, 30, then it's not pure anymore. Why is the reason? Because we believe the essence is pure and nice. It's not wise, right? It doesn't have wisdom. It's just pure. It's just nice. But over the time, once we grow, we can be more wise. We can learn, experience more. And also at the same time, we can be less essence. Have more egos instead of the essence. Okay. The way the essence is always, we might sit in the meditation, we feel like essence. Because we're just not angry, we're not just a normal human being with not much problem or issue or with anyone or anything. That's kind of like an essence at the time, usually in meditation sometimes. But the problem is we would have sometimes we get influence from up and from down. This 2-way, which is the duality we talked about before, it just nourishes the essence. Like anger, pride, gluttony, jealousy, everything from down there, it just like a very, very small thinking power or a magnetic power of the mind, it just comes to the essence. And also at the top, from the, we call it top and bottom, it's not really top and bottom, but anyway, just for make it simple to understand, from up there, which is the sky, which is like
light and dark.
Yeah, light and dark is good. Yeah, but still we should when we put it in the whiteboard, we only have up and down. So it's okay, light up there coming down, and darkness coming up. And we are limited to the duality. And from there, now, mind is connected to the magnetic field of the divine or divinity from up there to the essence. Every essence or every human being all the time are under the influence of the darkness and white and light. Right? Both sides is pressing anyone. Every second we get impulse. We get impulse from down there, from the darkness, telling me to do something, telling me that's not my right, telling me that should be like this, why you don't listen, and all the negative thoughts, it's coming up. And from up there, it doesn't come down much. Right? From up there, any person should have worked out a lot to be able to catch something from the sky and bring it down. Right? Why is that? That's very simple. If two persons are angry, fighting to each other, right away you hear them. Right? They're noisy, they make lots of noise, they make lots of movement. But someone is enlightened, happy, sitting there on meditation somewhere, it doesn't talk. The happiness doesn't have much movement, doesn't have noise. Then usually whoever is happy, it doesn't make much noise. You don't see much happy people. Yeah, quiet. But you see lots of noisy, angry people. Right? Exactly, inside is the same. We see, we hear the scream of anger or all this kind of ego. But from the top, we don't get much. We need to be able to catch it ourselves. Now, these two forces, the darkness and light, it's every second is going through every essence. When it start doing that, I said 5 years old is essence. And it doesn't happen. Not even down and not top, none of them. A 5 years old cannot be a wise old man or old women, right? It's just essence. There is no darkness, there is no light. When do you guess it's a start? And is it possible to start sometimes from down, not up, and not up, from up, not down? It depends on people, could vary a bit in a few years, less or more. But usually it's a start from 8, 9 years old. 8, 9 years old, two things start to nourish us in human being. Lust and pride. Pride and lust, which in men and women is opposite the manifestation, is a start. For example, the pride is a start. A young man or woman, they start from an age, they start to do their own things. They want to be independent. They start clashing with the father and mother, usually. That's about the time pride is starting into the essence. Pride is going to the essence. Pride, for the first version, is good because makes the person independent. right? Sometimes could be like age of 10, 12, 13, and sometimes could be less, depend on people are a bit varying. But at 18, absolutely people have pride. They think, usually the boys, we've been all there, we think our father is wrong and we are right, right? It's probably, you remember more now. That's actually might not be right. And I had it, you had it, everyone have that. That's about the age I'm getting through my own thinking, which is pride, but it is still not bad. It still make me independent to my father and mother, because if I'm always thinking my mother is right, my father is right, what about me? Then I wouldn't get to individuality, right? We should get to individuality by some age. Then we would be independent. Then we can think ourselves for ourselves. Then we take the responsibility of our own life, which later on, when we get like 20, 25 years old, then we said, oh, it was not good. I wish I was part of my mom and dad. His life is too hard then. But that's called like pride. Or lust is a start when people can feel the lust in their body. These two forces start make a person independent or individual in some level. That's coming from darkness. That's coming from darkness, but the darkness even in earth has a purpose. It's not that darkness is 100% wrong, right? The darkness is mechanically, as a mechanism of the earth, is try to do something, which create that pride, and then that pride in me gets after I get the pride, I'll take the responsibility of myself. Then myself and me start living, because like 5 years old, there is no me. I'm just part of my mom and dad. However, I'm separated, my body is separated, but still mentally, emotionally, I'm attached to my mother and my father. I'm part of them, right? Now, then essence start feeling the pride, which is first is good, and then pride brings that I want to be better than everyone else. Then start jealousy, start compare, start all sort of other egos at the same time, which still might be good at the young age, because when I compare myself to everyone, then it makes me motivated to work more, right? Try more. How you make your children, no, you don't have any, but how may you make your children, if you have any, motivated to work more? You tell them, see, the other guy has that, just do it. Compare. Lots of tricks like this all are part of the mind. It's not part of really the essence. It's a part of the mind which is coming from the egos. But the egos try to make an essence which born in this world to make it grow, right? For this, it gives you the ego, which is still fine at the young age. Yeah, they start doing experiment, right? Every human being at young age, they experiment lust, enjoy life. They then some chooses to enjoy life and with different stuff, and then they get a bit older or they grow, then they realize, oh, now life really is not a place for joy. It's a place for work more than joy. But then all this is happening like between the age of 12, 13 to 25, about 25. That age is very hard age for a human being because all the forces by nature goes to him, makes him independent, makes him work, and it's too much pressure for anyone, if you remember that age. And we can tell us a bit. I remember all the detail, and it was very, very hard. Then after this, when this happens, a bit later, the soul starts working. The soul is, let's call this light soul, which is a bit, has more meaning in it. The soul starts working. First the pride, then lust, then anger, then we all get that, and then we got frustrated in a young age with having all this. What is these things are coming to me, and it's just always in my mind, one of them. Then the person for this start to contact his soul. So, okay, how should I control the anger? How should I control the pride? How should I control lust? How should I fix the jealousy? How should I work? Not with compare, because the compare is making a bit more my mind like sad or make more problem in my mind. But I want still to work, because if I don't compare myself, then I don't work. I'm saying, okay, I don't want to be any better than anyone else, then why should I work? Right? Then the soul starts coming to essence gradually. Depend on the power of the soul, and depend on the power of the darkness inside or egos. Then after a while, a person has a soul, has the ego, then he has his own destiny on his hand. Then a person said, okay, I have all these egos, I know my soul. Now the soul is trying to do everything in a divine version. The ego is trying to get to everything as soon as possible, easiest one, right? But it always has cost. The cost we usually don't see first, and then we pay the cost, and then we realize that methods usually are not really good. Now, this is called manifestation of higher self and lower self, which is just happening, which sometimes in some religion they call it from earth and from sky. Sky is always the divinity, and they call it like God is in the sky. Really, it's not in the sky, but it's just like in the duality they call it sky, as it means that we just call it here like soul. Now, the things is happening when I would be listening to either this one or that one, and every thought from the darkness when it comes to my essence, if I would be there and I would see that thought. For example, small one like why that person is doing like that. Okay, something, it's very short, small thought is coming inside my essence. Then, if I don't see it, it will still be there, and continue to grow. After 5 minutes, 10 minutes, few days, then I don't like the guy. Very simple one. After a few days, I see that person and then I wouldn't like to talk to him. I don't like him. I might not remember why this happened, because like an anger or pride or something started one short thought. But I didn't see that the result is happening between me, a conflict or problem between me and someone else. This is the cause of everything, every problem, every contradiction. It's usually start with a very, very small thought like this. What we should do is, if someone is, we call it awake. When the thought comes into my mind, I would see it right away. I would see it, okay, this is the kind of magnetic force or thought force is coming to me and is telling me why you're sitting like this, right? Just and said, okay, I don't like you. I don't want to have that in my essence. He's free to do whatever he wants to do. It's not my business to think about him or judge him or compare him with someone else. Or then you're good to go. Your essence is still continuing happily. But usually the essence is not vigilant. It's not awake or aware of everything is happening inside him. Because usually we have our intention to outer world. We have our intention to what he's doing, what is happening, how is weather, how is work, how is boss, how is that and that. When we have too much attention on the world, not inside, then I don't see inside. And then the inside is lots of grasses, trees, all sorts of things is growing inside me. It comes with a small thought in the mind and then grow and then continue. And still I'm thinking of something else, someone else, doing something outside. That's the reason usually we start meditation. We said, okay, we usually do 23 hours, maybe a bit more, to have our attention to outer world. Now let's sit half an hour, close the outer world, which is the eyes, right? Or senses actually, but mostly eyes. And just see inside. See, okay, where this thought is coming from. What is asking me. But the funny thing is, when we usually go to this stage, we close our eyes, then usually we sleep. Why is that? Because the essence says, okay, if I don't see anything outside, I should sleep. I said, no, you shouldn't sleep. You still have job to do, but it's inside. But usually for the first 6 months or a year, sometimes, essence goes to sleep. Even if you sit upright, but sometimes have you experienced that you just lose the time and just you come back to yourself and say, okay, oh yeah, just 10 minutes passed. Have you experienced that? Yeah.
Is it the mind or the essence?
It's mind, yeah. But the responsible person is the essence. It's kind of, we can say both. That's actually we sleep that time. We don't know what's happening. All right? But the sleep is not that deep that we just fell down and snore on the ground. But it's sleep. Because the essence, it doesn't have enough power to stay awake and vigilant inside. And say, okay, I'm sitting here and I want to see my internal world. He doesn't see it. He said, okay, if you close your eyes, it means I have to sleep because I don't have anything to do in the internal world. That's normal in the 6 months, first 6 months or a year. We close our eyes, then we go to sleep or lose track of the time, which is kind of a sleep. But after a while, then the essence get more light, get more power, and can stay vigilant in the meditation. When I'm saying stay vigilant in the meditation, then it means that if you're practicing half an hour, probably we should have 1,000 thoughts. We should see them all. So, okay, oh yeah, coming that, oh, you're thinking about that, okay, leave it. I'll think about it after the class. Oh, this one is not, I cannot do anything now. I'm just meditating, just come back later. It just should listen and should pay attention to the, see, not pay attention, see all the thoughts. But usually we just go to sleep and it's nice and quiet, cozy, but it's still we are not vigilant. Being vigilant in the meditation is a bit hard first, which one of the main practices we are going to do it. Okay, what would be the benefit of being vigilant in the meditation? When I'm vigilant in the meditation, then slowly I would learn. As I'm living in the external world, I'm living in the internal world too, in my own internal world. As I'm seeing someone doing something, I'm just not saying that. I'm saying that, oh, I'm thinking like this. Because I see this, now I'm thinking that. Why I'm thinking that? But always the question is why he's doing that. We are not saying that why I'm thinking like that. Why I'm thinking like negative. It's all sorts of things might happening inside which is not right, which is not correct. But we always see people outside and we tell them, oh, we judge them, this is not right, this is good, this is not good. With our own narrow angle, we see everything and we judge everything. Then when I see my internal world, I'm saying, okay, is it really you see everything? Okay, can you see yourself? Right? Then when a person living in the internal world, right, all the inside, we call it internal world, then start growing internally too. As we grow outside, we should grow inside. But if we are all see outside, all of our attention outside, then we don't grow inside. Then the essence would be weak. Then a person which is weak inside would be, for example, temper problem, anger problem, depression, all sorts of sicknesses, the mental sicknesses, which is for essence, is happening there, which is not easy to fix them. It's not with pills and tablets or injection. It usually doesn't work much. The body, the body might get help from GPs, doctors, like me, do the surgery, and then they fix it. But usually the internal world problem, it's not easy to fix. Even pills and tablets, there is no cure with pills and tablets. Temporary can help, right? It's like a painkillers, but it doesn't help the problem. Now, needs exercise. A person needs to do exercise in the internal world. That's the most important part of every human being, it should be. Then, now to summarize it, usually I should concentrate 50% of my attention to whatever is happening inside me, and 50% to outside. That would be the best. But let's start with 199%. Let's at least have our attention 1% inside myself, how things is happening. Once you see, for example, we talked about the manifestation. Now, I'm telling you an example, simple example. Why a person has his own internal eyes open and he can see inside, why he doesn't get angry or he shouldn't get angry? That's very simple, because when I'm alive, I'm awakened, I'm vigilant inside my internal world. Now, something, an ego or an issue, telling me why this marker is green, why this guy is buying green, and they always tell me to not write with the green because they cannot see it in the monitor. Why they buying it? Right? Okay. Now, the first thought when it comes, it's very, very small. It's just a very small thought. How easy is to eliminate this thought? I'm saying, okay, I don't know the reason why they're buying green, but they told me to not use green. I should remember to not write with the green. That's not very hard thing to do for me. Why, Reza? You're just picking up on people what to buy, what not, and just not doing or not cooperating with other people. That is my problem. I'm not flexible to work. However, they buy it in a package. About them myself, I know, but they come in the package and all colors they have. And then it's very easy to remove it, to eliminate the thought there. Now, I don't see it. I'm not alive, I'm not vigilant there. I don't see it. I'm saying, okay, who buy that? This green thing. Probably Farid is doing it, because usually he buys stuff there. I told him to not buy green. And then he's even the person telling me to not write with the green. Even when he buy, why he doesn't pick this one and put it into the bin and now put it here? Maybe he has some some issue with me. Maybe he's doing something, right? He wants, he has some intention, maybe.
Purpose.
Yeah, on purpose he's doing it. And now, 10 minutes later, if I continue, what would happen? Okay, now I get angry. Now it's how much force do I need to spend to calm myself down? Then I have to sit there for a couple of hours meditating, and it's still not going. It's when you buy a seed, or when you have actually this is our farm, actually. This area, we call it even, the complete this area is our farm. I'm writing it green. That is our farm, which it doesn't have anything first. Now, a seed coming with wind coming to our farm. If you see there a seed, but you should be always sitting there in the farm and see, okay, what seed is coming from where, and then a simple seed coming, and then you just pick it up and just put it somewhere, in bin or somewhere. That's very easy. The only thing is, you should be always vigilant, awake. Now, I don't see that. I'm just inside my house, or even I'm not usually in my house, right? In my farm. I'm just doing in other people's farm, I'm doing something else. And then 5 years later, I'm saying, what this tree does here? We have to take down this tree. All right? That's the anger manifested in the even body. It can create cancer. It can create all sorts of disease in the body. Once it starts from the air, from the mind, once start from the new seed, I can eliminate it right away. That is very, very good things to do with minimum force, but all the force should be on the attention. Where is my attention? What I'm doing with my attention? Okay, is it clear, this part? Now, then if someone asks me, why should be awake? Why some people are awakened? What it means even, awakened people? When I was younger, I was thinking they are awakened, they would see heaven and hell. Which kind of true. They can see all the seeds coming from heaven and hell. They would see, I don't know, the genes, then the things which you cannot see. They can go through the wall. Or something should be very important for awakened. They have something extraordinary power. Then, when I grow up and get some part of enlightenment or awakening, then I realize, the hardest and most important power in the world is to be awakened. Just inside my own internal world, to take care of my internal world. And that is very, very hard. It's very important. And none of the other imaginary power I was thinking from Hollywood, then none of them even make sense. Because I'm saying, okay, why should I go through the wall? And I could see it in the Hollywood. It was just good to go, right? Just not opening the door, just go through the wall. Being awakened means that I would see anything happening in my internal world, in my essence, in my mind. That is the reason we start with meditation. When meditation starts, usually after a year of doing daily meditation, then you would not go to sleep. You wouldn't lose track of time. You will be vigilant there. And you see everything is happening. And when you see everything is happening, the first step is you see, there is like small trees here. Where that was grow up, I didn't see it even. Just I'm seeing it now. It's a bit late, it's hard to take down the tree. But when it goes to step by step, I see the trees first. The trees are already planted by my ignorance or by my asleepness. Then step by step, I see them before getting the tree, maybe just smaller. And then gradually, after a few years, I would see it right away. As soon as they entered into my farm, I said, okay, this is coming to my farm. Okay, just, I know it. All right? This is the mind or essence of every human being, which usually, because we are asleep, sometimes we use the ignorant word. Ignorance or ignorant person, because we are ignoring what's happening inside us, we are ignorant. Ignorant person is a person doesn't know what is happening in his internal world, in his mind, in his emotion, where the mind comes from, where the thoughts come from, how it's manifested, how he gets angry, how he judges people based on nothing, and lots of things is happening there, and I'm ignoring them. That's the main reason that human can be ignorant, could have ignorance, right? Now, one of our that was the explanation for after the manifestation. That's one of the subject. We go back to the egos, what it does, to analyze that. But most importantly, before I explain everything is happening inside, is you get awake and be vigilant, and you see it for yourself. That would be very important. That's the hardest thing to do. For this, you need, because usually we are fascinated with all shapes, colors, forms in this world. It's all, every second we see lights and shapes and different, and it's just that fascination, it doesn't let my mind to concentrate to see something inside. All right? We are going to meditation to do that, but I want from this week, you guys, to start be awakened into the mind and into the reality world. I want to start a bit of breath every couple of hours. Every couple of hours, you just remember, oh, I am Reza, I'm a human being. Oh, where is my internal world? Right? Just a few breaths. One every hour would be perfect. Just 2-3 breaths every hour. And that would be very hard. It's not that easy. You started now, from now. You would end up, you realized how much the essence is weak and sleep. And it's just forget, just you remember that. The first time I've been in Awakening Consciousness class with my teacher, he told me to do this. And I said, oh, that's a very easy thing to do, just tell me something harder. And next week, I went back there.
How many times did you do it?
As totally I forgot, I had homework. And I went there and said, oh. But that was easy, I just forget. Then I said, okay, that's a very easy thing I'm doing. I just forget. I'll do it again next week. And next week I've done it 2 times. The whole week, 2 times I remembered. And then gradually I realized that's a very, very hard thing to do. Now, then we're talking about the attention. First of all, that's a good thing to observe where is our attention usually goes. For example, someone says that, I don't know, like opposite sex. Someone says that work. Someone says money. Someone says building something. Someone says, just see where your attention usually goes. Which subject is attracting your attention? That's a very good thing to know, because then you know you're fascinated most of the day by this or by that, right? Every human being depends on the mind or the soul, which we talk later, goes somewhere, attract to something. For example, I might not care this glass of water is like glassy, or it's what type of glass it is. I don't care. But if you give paper cup to someone, they might get said, okay, it's rude. Why you put the paper cup? You put something like more classy, right? But for me, it's not important. I don't even think about the material of the glass or the dress, but everyone have something. A girl usually might always goes his attention to how he look like in front of the other people, right? She might put few hours a day for makeup and things that, because his attention is to look like good, right? Or people praise him, for example. Then we say, okay, that essence, most of our attention could be this. Or some people are, I don't know, in gym maybe, and could be good or bad, but still we know our attention where it goes. Okay. Should we take our attention only inside and leave outer world, just doing whatever he's doing? It depends on the school you go. Right. In our school, absolutely no. Some schools are, like some Buddhist schools, they believe that you should live life, don't get married, and just sit inside the temple and only live inside the temple, no wife, no husband, and no children, right? There is different types.
Sorry to cut you off. Maybe you were going to say something, but it just reminded me that something in the Quran actually where God talks about this. He says that, in the nations before us, he didn't request people to do this, like to become celibate, to not get married, to go live on a mountain, but people wanted to be close to God, so they did that, but they didn't do it properly, and then they went into extremes with it. So for us, at least for our generation, he's not asking us to do this. We should get married, we should have that relationship, we should interact with the world.
Okay, true. That's our belief in our school. But still, different school, they have different methods, right? Which one is good, which one is not good? It doesn't matter. Whatever school you go, that's the best for you, right? We cannot think of any other school, why they do it or why they don't do it. Any school has its own way. The way we have in our school is 50% inside, 50% outside. The reason we talking about we need life and we are not going to see in the temple and just live in the temple, it would be very easy to go to a cave, right? You like that? Go to cave, just sit there, do nothing.
That's really hard as well.
It is hard, yeah, absolutely. It's hard.
You need shower, eating, driving, all that.
Yeah. That would be hard living. But anyway, the reason is, I was thinking like that. First when I started my internal work, it was too mess. It was in a level mess that I was saying, okay, I need to leave external world and just go back to live inside. And because I have to just fix this, and in 200 years I cannot do that. Then I was wishing that no work, right, and everything outside should be just eliminated, just in a second like that, and then I'm just only alone with myself. And to fix that. But over the time, I realized that that's not the way our school works. I'll explain very brief. When we have our, depend on the, okay, let's rephrase it. Depend on the goal, depend on what we need, what we want to achieve. There is different methods, right? Sometimes someone says, I want liberation from this world. That's all. I want to liberate this world. Then might be good to go to cave or liberate from the world. But what if I'm saying, no, however I want to get liberate from this world, but I want to engage, or want to work, or make it simple, I want wisdom. If I want liberation and wisdom, then what would happen? Then in cave, I cannot get wisdom. Where do I get the wisdom? Among this life, among all people with multiplicity and all different type of people, different opinions, then I would sit with like you. We might have different knowledge, different background, different language, different thoughts, everything different. Now the wisdom would appear here in life. Then it would be harder to live the life, but Sufism believes that we have lived the life and also not be attached to it with detachment. We can live the life detachment, be detached from life, still having a successful life. If anyone believes that they can go to cave or temple and sit there for a whole life, I would say that's very good, and maybe that person have enough wisdom, I don't know, or he doesn't want wisdom. But if someone needs wisdom, I believe we need to go through spirituality and life together. As Akil said in the Quran, it's the same thing. And we are going to engage life and spirituality together. That would be the hardest and the Sufism way of doing, right? That's the reason we're saying that now 50% outside, 50% inside. However, the percentage really is not showing anything. I mean, half outside, half inside, or sometimes inside, sometimes outside. I believe that I haven't got to 50% inside yet, and I cannot then recommend you to do it 50%. But 1-2% start with 1-2% inside. Now, okay, then you have your homework for this week, all right?
So it's just every couple of hours conscious breaths for how many? Does it matter? Just to remember.
For now, from this week to next week, every hour, 1 or 2 breaths is enough. As long as you just remember to do it, right? Because let's go through a slip of consciousness a bit more. Give some example. Akil, you're driving from south to here, right? Now you're going back. When you go, you see things in the street?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Can you recall?
Some things, yes.
Sometimes some things, yeah?
Of course, it's the things which get my attention. That's what I see.
True.
The normal things, the roads, a lot of the normal houses, I won't see them after the few times because now I'm used to coming here. I know the road without looking at the map. I'm not seeing a lot of things now, but there's still some milestones. I'll notice them.
Okay, that's a good explanation for heart and mind, or consciousness and mind. If I'm doing something 10 times, then after 10 times, my body does. I don't need to be present, do I? If you go driving to home, sometimes, I remember that a few times I tried to be conscious when I got home from like work to home, 20-minute driving, and then I said, was it the light red or green? I don't remember even. But if I passed in the red light, I just didn't remember it was green. I'm pretty sure it was green, but we don't think, right? What I was thinking all the way, like from work. Now, my boss says something, and I don't like it, and I'm getting angry, and then I sit in the car and I drove home. Do you think I see around? Do you think I see straight? Do you think I'm only thinking of my boss? Right? However, my boss is not there. but all the time I'm thinking of my boss. What is happening? It's just my anger got my attention, right? And I am a slave to my anger. And I'm just talking to my boss. And once, I remember something very funny, which I'm pretty sure happened for all of you. Once I was driving, and I was deep into my thoughts, rubbish thoughts. And then I said, oh, Reza, be present. At the present, right now, you're driving. I'm driving now, I'm driving. And then I drive. And then suddenly I realized that I'm going a bit faster than speed limit. Then I said, okay. Oh, I was in my mind, and it just was not careful. Now, what if the police was here? Then I have to tell the police that, oh, really, I was not present. I was in my fighting with my boss or something. I was not present, and that was the reason it happened. Then the policeman said, what? What are you talking about? You have to pay $100 bucks. And I said, no, that's not. And then I was thinking of this scenario to the home. For a second, I came out from my mind, and I just saw the speedometer, and then it was just in the same slave into my mind. And then the next day, I said, okay, I'm checking the speedometer, but I'm not going into this one this time. And the same thing happened. This time, I was saying, no, I'm not going more than speed limit even. Then the next day, I was going slow. Then I saying, what if now the police catch you? Then I'm saying, I'm going 50, I'm not going even 60. Then he said, no, you're going 65. How should I prove it? Then I was this scenario, and I was inside this. And then said, oh God, can I drive? Not thinking, not trapped into my mind, just drive, just enjoy the. That was for a month. I was just driving from home to work, and then I realized, oh, that's a beautiful street. Oh, there is a tree. Oh, that's a nice one. Oh, this time I see the red light. That was, I don't know how your consciousness is, or what would be your experience, but that was mine, which was deep asleep in my consciousness, and it was very hard for me to just get awakened into my internal world. Now, however, we talked about the whole thing, the philosophy and theory. I want you to reflect and find out, distinguish between internal world and external world, and then just start scratching the internal world and see what is inside internal world. And I promise you would enjoy seeing your internal world. And by the way, all the people, like elevated people, prophets, imams, or all the good people, do you think the external world for them was different to ours? Probably not. Probably they had the same job. I don't know. Some they had money, some they didn't have money. Some they had worked 10 hours. Some had wives. Some had kids.
It was more difficult.
Yeah, probably even that time was more difficult too. But it was the external life for them was the same as every human being at the same time or even now. What was different with them was their internal world. Their internal world was totally different. Right? Now, external world for all of us are the same and probably doesn't change. Right? With the age, you go surgery soon. Oh, I did my surgery. But living in the mental world, then that would be different. Then everything is different. Now, We talked about what is spirituality in the first or second session. Now we're talking again about the internal world, how it's affected. And we talked about the philosophical or theoretical. Then now you're going to experience bit by bit. Okay?